guys, I'm here to give you a book haul of 11 books that I've bought while I've been working in a bookstore. Sometimes when you're in a bookstore day in and day out, there are these books and they sit on the shelves and they scream at you and you have to buy them, and I think that only having 11 is actually a pretty good sign of my self-control, considering that I've worked in a bookstore since October and 3 of those 11 books I did not buy. Actually 5, because 2 of them were books that I told my father I wanted for Christmas, and then he bought them and then I got them for Christmas, even though I was there when he bought them, as a good person does. I'm also having a hilariously off day. This is my 3rd attempt at filming this video. The first time I filmed the entire thing and there was no sound because I forgot about the new microphone, and the fact that the microphone was not turned on didn't even give me crappy sound quality. So I'm really just hoping that this video is going to come out. The second time I forgot to hit the record button, didn't get any further than the introduction before the camera turned off. I'm a little bit off my game today. Been some stuff going on. I have a broken toe. My grandmother went to the hospital. So I'm just going to ignore all of these things and instead tell you guys about some books. There are 4 little subcategories to my 11 books, and that'll help us move through them pretty quickly and interestingly, hopefully. So here we go. The first 2 books are books about, me trying to edit my novel. If you've seen any of my I wrote a novel now what videos, I have not really been doing a lot of work on completing it thus far, as a lot of things again have been happening besides just the things that I mentioned, but I purchased 2 books towards that end, and that are right here. The first one is Troubleshooting Your Novel by Stephen James. The subtitle is Essential Techniques for Identifying and Solving Manuscript Problems. And I saw this book in the reference section with all the writing books, and usually I look through them and there's a lot of them, and I really don't think that they're going to be that helpful, because writing advice is great, but it's also very particular to the kind of writer you are and the kind of writer that the person writing the writing advice book is. But this one has so many little things. There are 5 sections to this about a bunch of different things and a bunch of different issues, like characterization, attitude, intentionality, dilemmas, and it's not just how to fix them, but questions to ask yourself, things to look for that might be issues. And because it's so broke down into different subcategories, you can really laser in on things that either are an issue, or maybe you can read through and realize are an issue, or avoid the things that that you're a bit better at so that you can move forward faster. So I'm really excited to take a highlighter to this and start working on my novel a little bit more. The second one of these is a bit more fun, and it's Stephen King's autobiography on writing a memoir of the craft. And this is part writing advice, part Stephen King talking about his life, and I've heard really good things about it, and it's been on my list to read for a while now. Bibliomancy for Beginners will be doing a rotation later on this year where we all pick a nonfiction book, and this will probably be my pick because I think that it'll be really interesting to talk about what he says for writing advice, but also his life. And again, Taylor and I especially, we've really wanted to read this for a while, and I think that the mix of writing advice and autobiography will really resonate and be helpful for me trying to edit my own novel moving forward. My second themed pile you could call nonfiction about kick-ass women, and that is these books right here. It also includes the only book in this entire haul that I've actually already finished, and that's Anna Kendrick's Scrappy Little Nobody. This is Anna Kendrick's memoir, and I love her. She's so funny. There are great pictures in here. Her personality comes through real well. I may do a full review of this coming up, so I won't say too much about it now. But if you were looking to read it, it is a really quick read, and I think really helpful for 20-somethings trying to find their place in the world, because that's what she focuses on a lot in it. So it was a really good read for this time in my life. I also have Lauren Graham's Talking as Fast as I Can, From Gilmore Girls to Gilmore Girls and Everything in Between. This is Lauren Graham's memoir, and if she looks familiar but you don't know why, the reason I picked up this book is because she plays Lorelai Gilmore in Gilmore Girls. You may have guessed from the subtitle. And while I did not like the Gilmore Girls revival, if you saw my review of that, I love Lauren Graham. I think that she is a spectacular actress and maybe the linchpin of the Gilmore Girls series. And so I'm excited to spend some time with the woman behind Lorelai and get to know her a little bit more, and maybe some funny Gilmore Girls, behind the scenes secrets and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one a lot. One of my more recent purchases was the movie tie-in edition of Hidden Figures by Margot Lee Shetterly, and subtitle of this one, The American Dream and the Untold Story of the Black Women Mathematicians Who Helped Win the Space Race. Of course, if you haven't seen the book, you've probably seen the trailers for the movie. I don't really need to tell you what it's about, I think, because even if you haven't seen the movie trailer, the subtitle basically tells you everything that you need to know. Michaela and I are hoping to read this together to then do a Flicks episode on the movie and the book. But if we don't get to this before the movie leaves theaters, then we'll just read the book, maybe review that and review the movie later, because I definitely want to see both. Because the book A is super awesome and important, and the movie stars some of my favorite African-American female actors. So, pumped for this one. Eventually we'll read with Michaela and you'll see reviews and stuff like that, so you can look forward to that. I have a small pile of historical fiction, and to start off with, we have 2 books by Wilbur Smith, Desert God and Pharaoh. If you don't know, I am a huge fan of Egyptian historical fiction, specifically with Michelle Moran, and these were recommended to me by a coworker as really, really awesome historical Egyptian fiction, and we had both of them on various sale tables, so I picked them up, and I was really intrigued, A, by the idea of them, but also by the fact that Stephen King bills Wilbur Smith as the best historical novelist. Again, I don't read Stephen King because I don't really read horror, but Stephen King is an awesome writer, and the fact that he said that, super awesome. So I cannot wait to read these. Apparently they are super popular, and I will read anything that's Egyptian historical fiction. So if you have read these, please do drop me a line down below and let me know what you thought of them, because I'm excited, but let me know. Do I have reason to be excited? I need to know. Speaking of Michelle, I also got Rebel Queen, and while I do prefer Michelle's books on Egypt and Egyptian historical fiction, I'm still waiting for her new project, which is Back to Egypt, to come out. So I've been going through some of her other titles. Specifically, I read Madame Tussaud last year. Didn't do a review of it, but I did read that. I have not read The Second Empress yet, but I want to get my hands on this. But this again was in our bargain section, and it was like $6. How do you turn that down? You can't. You can't turn that down. So this is about India, actually, an Egyptian historical fiction on Queen Lakshmi, where the British were trying to come into India and be like, this is our town now, and Queen Lakshmi was like, I don't think so. So I am super excited about this just because I love Michelle and I have never not enjoyed one of her books. Now we come to the 3 books that I did not buy. The 2 books that I got as gifts for Christmas were Anna Kendrick and Lauren Graham's books. I put them in my dad's hands and said I wanted them. Also, curiously, obviously, the only hardcovers besides the Wilbur Smith books, which were in our bargain section, so that's also a clue. But I also have 3 books that I got as ARCs. Barnes & Noble gets ARCs from some publishers, and because I'm one of the only teen readers in the store, I tend to try and snap up those pretty quick. They're on a first come, first served basis. And one of the first ones that I got was Veronica Roth's Carve the Mark as an ARC, and yes, this has come out now. The reason that I haven't read and reviewed it yet is because I tried to do that before the book came out on the 17th, and I really wasn't a fan, if we're being honest. I got through the first couple of chapters and it was a lot. It was very info dumpy, a lot of information, like really dense sci-fi, religious, it just felt like a lot. I wasn't feeling that at the time. I will probably return to this at some point because, again, Veronica Roth is awesome and I love Divergent, but it was a lot. So if you have started reading this or finished it yet, please do let me know if it gets better or if you had a similar reading experience, because I'm really curious if it was just my inability to want to deal with that kind of dense sci-fi when I started it, or if there's actually something going on with this book. So do let me know. I also got my hands on a free hardcover copy of Lauren Oliver's Replica. This is one of the coolest book ideas that I've seen in a while. If you haven't seen this, it starts off with a Lyra's story. This is like the front that I'm holding just because the barcode is usually in the back of a book and that's on the other side. But so Lyra's story on this side, and then you go into it, you know, words as normal. But somewhere in the middle of the book, the words flip upside down, and that is because you can flip the book over, and on this side you have Replica Gemma's story. And I'm really excited to see how this book, you know, two girls, two stories, one epic novel, comes together and has this story for both these girls. And just the idea that you can flip over the book and get a new story is so awesome to me, and I just think that it's a great idea, and I can't wait to see how it all fits together. So might be one of the new books that I read next. Again, if you've read this book already or started this book, please do let me know what you think about it down in the comments. And that goes for anything that I've already mentioned if I haven't already said it, because your guys' opinions matter to me, and they will push books up and down in my reading order as you guys tell me. So please, again, if you've read this, tell me if it is like as cool as it seems. Lastly, I have my newest arc, and that is The Hate You Give by Angie Thompson. This is a book, it's a debut novel by Angie Thompson, and it's based on the Black Lives Matter movement. And it's basically the story of a girl who witnesses her childhood best friend being shot by the police as he is unarmed, and the story of that. So kind of fictionalizing the key events in a lot of the formation of the Black Lives Matter movement as we know it today. And it's also apparently going to be a movie. So I am just, I don't know if excited is the right word for this kind of a book, but I know that when I picked this book up, I knew that it was going to be a really important arc to read, and I can't wait to have it come into the bookstore and selling it, and, you know, just helping books like this get out there in whatever tiny way I can as a bookseller. And Michaela and I both want to read this. When the movie comes out, we'll probably like do a flicked episode or something. I don't know quite when it's coming out, but this book comes out on the 17th of February, so please do keep it on your radar if you haven't already heard of it, because I think that it's going to be a good one, and you know, definitely the kind of book that you should have on your radar. That's it, guys. Those are my 11 books. I hope very, very, very deeply that this video actually came out. If this stopped, you know, focusing on my face, if the video audio quality isn't great, I'm just gonna call it. I'm just gonna get this out there. You guys heard me talk about the books. You can look up the pictures on your own. You are all smart cookies. Seeing my face really isn't that important. And I made the video. I did the thing. So yeah, I hope to come back to you guys with a little bit of a sunnier disposition and outlook, and maybe some more books and more reviews. Don't miss Wednesday. We're doing our Bibliomancy for Beginners episode on the Magician Lands. Taylor will be there, Michaela will be there. We'll finally wrap up this 3-year odyssey with this stupid series, which we hate so much. So it's going to be a good time, even if we're quite angry the whole time, because I'm about halfway through right now and can confirm my oh god, my opinion is not better, guys. It's just getting worse. So hey, yeah, I will see you at the very least on Wednesday, and again on Thursday with a review, or maybe else something. We'll see. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Bye.